Hello everyone, it's Nick Lawson with CDC-TakeCharge Services, and this is Lesson 8 on how to build a more robust and user-friendly contact management application in Alpha software. First, to start off our lesson, I want you to notice we have a new object on the screen. Now, our front page for our application is a clock and a calendar. This is where we'll ultimately get in the application. For now, all we're doing with it is bringing up the contact management app the way we have been seeing it so far. Okay, we discussed in our last lesson that we would be contrasting the differences between a XDialog form for user input or messages and a form that is bound to a table and possibly used as a dialog form. When you use an XDialog box, the thing that you want to take and keep in mind is that it should present information to the user, allow them to make a decision that would branch your software and perform some other function, or allow for input so that they can take and continue to add data to their application. A perfect example of that is right here on our calendar. If I right click, which I just did, it pops up a dialog box. Gives me a message, there's no notes or reminders scheduled for this day. However, it tells me I can write a note for this day, or if there were notes, it would allow me to view all of them in a window that allows me to view the notes by date and time. Sort of like a reminder system. Okay, so that's a good example of an XDialog. Now, if we take and go to our Contact app Start menu, this is actually a form that is bound to a table. Now, it's not totally like an XDialog or a dialog box, because a dialog form requires you to perform some action before you can continue. Here we can do whatever we want. We can go back to this form, we can open a new form, whatever we need to do. So we're going to go ahead and open people. Now again, here's a form that pops up like a dialog, but it is not a dialog. It is, however, attached to a table, or actually attached to a set, which is a combination of tables. Now, for the data entry, under our contact methods, we now have our phone list, which we did in the last lesson, and we have a social network and email list. Let's search for a contact that has some values in it. So we're going to search for AK and click our search button. There you go. Now we've put values in here. A list box by itself cannot be edited. What you have to do is edit the actual table that the values are pulled from. So we're going to go ahead and click on a social media. There you go. It pops up a table and displays the values that are in it. Now I can add values to it all day long, and when I save it and close it, it'll show up in my list box. There you go. That doesn't make any sense, but you see how easy it is to use. This method takes and attaches the browse to the form, which is attached to the set, and it makes perfect sense because it's a one-to-many relationship on the contact, and the information you're tracking is very easy to put in and manage this way. Let's take a look at how we did that. Close all this stuff, and we want to go to our control panel. First, under our activity set, we added the two tables that we made for our phone numbers and our webmail accounts. Communications, which is linked on Contact ID, and webmail accounts, which also is linked on Contact ID. These are one-to-many, and they are set to simple link expressions by field value. Alright. Now on the form itself, go to People CDC, go to Design. What we did is we used our conditional object. Here we've added two more options, phone list and email list. The way those are called is we set the values for phone list to be equal to phone list, which is just a text string, and email list is set to email list. So XTab, remember, is our variable that does that. So when we take and go to our contact methods and we want to edit either the phone list or the media, we simply take and put the code on the button that sets XTab to equal the value we need to change our conditional object. Then we tell it to activate the browse that we want to make the change for, so you don't have to click in there. And we set the text to the text box above the conditional object, telling the user what it is that's going to happen. That's very simple. So now we have a much more user-friendly application that has not only contact lists by phone numbers, but an ability to track and maintain all the different social media and email accounts of every contact that you can have. Let's take another look at how all that works. We'll close out of this and close this. Open our application again. There's our logo. And we have our clock. Now we're going to go to our contact application and open our people information form. We're going to search for Akron. There he is, search. And there's our list of our two methods. If I need to make a change, I take and click the appropriate button, click in the field I want to adjust, and save my changes, and it's back to where it needs to be. That's it for today's lesson. Thank you much, and have a great day, and we'll talk to you again when we're ready to do lesson 9.